Hi, thanks for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to look at 2,300 global growth capital funds investing in expansion stage companies. To be clear, this exclusive database represents the who's who of private equity funds launched between 2022 and 2025. These funds actively pursue investments in expansion stage companies across diverse sectors. So let's look at some key database components. This presentation introduces an exclusive institutionally verified database of global capital and expansion stage private equity funds actively deploying capital into mid to late stage companies across global markets. Compiled from multiple institutional grade sources, this database represents one of the most comprehensive collections of global growth equity activity available, integrating verified fund profiles, live investment mandates, and detailed contact intelligence on active allocators and deployment trends within the private equity landscape. So the database includes 2,300 active funds launched between 2022 and 2025, and you're going to see the Excel spreadsheet coming up later on in the video. There's 80,000 verified key contacts, and that includes direct institutional emails. Includes the core strategies, which include growth, expansion, late stage, and buyout. Core industries include technology, healthcare, life sciences, consumer goods, financial services, business services, and energy transition. But to be fair, it includes a very wide sector. Now, unlike generic investor directories, this dataset isolates confirmed growth capital mandates and expansion stage deployment strategies, providing users with verified intelligence on funds actively allocating into scaling businesses with proven revenue and operational traction. Purpose-built for fund managers, corporate finance advisors, placement agents, and business owners seeking growth or expansion equity partners, this resource delivers direct institutional connectivity to the world's leading private equity allocators, driving middle market and growth stage investment activity across developed and emerging markets. Global Growth and Expansion Capital Funds Database. The firms and investment vehicles featured in this database are managed by leading private equity sponsors, institutional fund managers, and growth capital specialists deploying expansion stage investments into established revenue-generating companies across global markets. Their mandates target businesses positioned for scaling, market expansion, or strategic transformation with diversified exposure across technology, healthcare, consumer industries, industrials, financial services, energy transition, and business services, sectors that anchor the world's mid-market growth and value creation landscape. Now, examples of the funds include growth equity funds, late-stage and pre-IPO vehicles, sector-focused funds, buy and build, and platform strategies. Now, each record delivers institutional-grade intelligence, including fund type, strategy, sector focus, regional coverage, verified contact details, fund manager profiles, and key decision makers, all compiled from multiple verified institutional databases and regulatory filings. Now, most of this database comes from two of my institutional databases. One was updated in December 2024, and the second one was updated in April 2025. Now, this collection offers an unmatched global perspective on growth equity formation and private market deployment trends, empowering users to identify active private equity growth investors, co-investment partners, and expansion capital providers, driving the evolution of middle market and late stage investment activity worldwide. So let's take a look at some sample funds from the Global Growth Capital database. Even though you're going to see more details on the Excel spreadsheet, this is just a snapshot of some of the types of funds. For example, number one, Excel Group 7, that's a US and UK fund. It's managed by Excel. This Global Growth Fund invests in technology, SAS, digital infrastructure ventures across the US and UK, targeting expansion stage companies with proven scalability. Number two, A-Star Capital Fund 2, it's in the US, and it's a venture capital vehicle focusing on technology, software, and internet-based enterprises in the US, backing category defining startups led by high-performing founders. Moving on to 3, you've got AVP Late Stage, that's a tech fund. Number 4, AIGF Fund, that's an Asian Japan fund. It's a growth and buyout fund connecting Japanese investors with ASEAN mid-market opportunities, focused on urbanization, infrastructure, and industrial growth sectors. 5, Albion Capital, that's a United Kingdom venture capital trust investing in digital health, software, and environmental technology businesses. And lastly, G42 Expansion Fund, that's in the UAE. It's a venture capital fund managed by G42 in partnership with the Abu Dhabi Growth Fund, investing globally in AI, clean tech, fintech, digital infrastructure, and life sciences. So who can benefit from this database? Firstly, fundraisers and capital advisors. It's purpose-built for professionals managing capital raising and private placement mandates across growth equity and expansion stage mandates. It's a key resource for placement agencies, fundraising consultants, and corporate finance advisors seeking verified institutional and family office private equity allocators. Provides intelligence on growth funds, co-investment vehicles, and structured capital programs deploying expansion capital globally. Secondly, fund managers, sponsors, and investment platforms. It's designed for private equity managers, general partners, and investment sponsors pursuing LP commitments, co-investments, or strategic partnerships, and it enables engagement with institutional investors, sovereign funds, and family offices targeting growth, late stage, and buyout opportunities, expanding pipelines, and aligning capital sources. Thirdly, strategic advisors and industry consultants. It's built for advisory firms and consultants managing private equity fundraising or capital structuring mandates, offers visibility into verified growth capital allocators and institutional investors in technology, healthcare, industrials, consumer, and energy transition sectors, and it streamlines investor targeting, strengthens outreach, and accelerates engagement timelines. Now, to be really clear, this database cannot be scraped from the internet, so don't believe anybody that tries to offer you that service. Many of the contacts within this database are not necessarily in the public domain. Now, they are parts of institutional grade databases because that's really the way they like to be contacted by institutional groups. Now, why this database matters? Well, replicating this dataset would require months of institutional research and costly subscriptions, many with incomplete or outdated data. Now, a lot of times what these big institutional list providers want you to do is sign up for subscriptions that cost tens of thousands of dollars, while you may only want a small section of them. So that's where my database really helps fill that gap. Now, each record is manually validated through institutional filings and 2022 to 2025 fund data. Again, I chose those areas because even for 2022, they're allocating now. 2025 will be allocating all the way into 2029. So you can have a fairly long shelf life with this database, ensuring accuracy, recency, and exclusivity across global growth and expansion capital ecosystem. So let's take a look at the database. But first, a key database disclosure. I like to add this to all my videos. My extensive database library provides hundreds of thousands of global contacts, typically including profiles, emails, and websites, though not all details are complete. Now, it's primarily compiled and updated from 2021 to 2025, with most updates in the last 2 years. Now, this corporate resource may include contacts whose roles have since changed, but it's designed as an excellent starting point for outreach. It's best leveraged and continually refined by organizations with dedicated data teams. This database comprises a blend of individuals and companies, each with distinct investment criteria and operating conditions, so there's no guarantee your approach will be favorably received. Note, this database is available to corporate or institutional groups only, no personal sales. Okay, now we're over on the spreadsheet part. So let's take a look in the bottom left-hand corner. You see we have just a little bit over 2,300 funds. And again, these are all funds that have been launched since 2022 up to 2025. And you can see on the top left, we've got their name, we've got their background. So you're going to get information that you're going to be able to use for screening purposes. You also got their inception date. You've got the asset class. Again, this database is a growth database for private equity mainly, some venture capital spread in there, but these are all active funds. We've got the primary region, we've got the status, whether they're raising, whether they're on their second close, whether they're closed. So you can see because it's 2022 to 2025, you're going to have a long lifespan in this database to be able to raise capital with. A little further over to the right, you've got some information on the fund size. You've got the fund manager, of course, which you're going to be able to correlate with the key contacts coming up in the next sheet. And then you have some filtering items here that you can use. You've got the core industries, you've got the industries, industry verticals, and just a little bit further over to the right here, you're going to get information on their website and their company email. Now let's take a look at the key contacts. So under the key contacts, we have just a little over 80,000 contacts. We come back up to the top, and you can see over here on the left-hand side, you're going to have the fund manager. You're going to have the firm type. Again, most of these are going to be either private equity, they're going to be fund managers. You might have a few investment companies in here as well. You're also going to get the name and the title of the key contact. Now, I've taken this database and I've used emails only, so you're going to have lots of opportunity to connect with parties here. If you can't find the exact party, you'll probably be able to find somebody within that fund that you can contact and say, hey, listen, I'm looking to reach out to somebody in the private equity, the real estate, venture capital side, whatever it is that you're looking for. And again, you have the asset class here that they're responsible for. There you see the emails, telephone numbers, city, and country. So that concludes the database of the growth funds that have been launched since 2022 to 2025. Are you looking for global funds and contacts? My verified database includes 24,000 global funds launched from 2022 and 400,000 fundraising executives with 277,000 emails. Coverage across all regions, asset classes, and strategies. It's the most complete global capital access tool available. For more information, contact DubaiInvestorsList.com. That's DubaiInvestorsList.com. Please like, share, and subscribe.